Hello and welcome to Rouse IAS Mains Quality Improvement Program, a series of video lectures curated to handhold you through your mains answer writing journey. Now in this session, we shall take up a question on the topic of Indian polity and governance. So now the question to be discussed in this session reads, how far has mandatory corporate social responsibility in India been effective in integrating social and environmental causes into business operations? Comment. Now this is a 15-marker question, that is 250 words. So now in order to discuss this question in completion, we have divided this session into 4 parts. Now in the first part, we shall discuss why a question of this kind has been framed and how is this question related to the UPSC style of question making. Further, we will discuss why the theme, that is corporate social responsibility, important for the mains of 2020. In the next part, we shall try to decode this question so as to understand its various subparts and understand the demand of the question from the mind of the examiner. Now, in the third part, we shall try to create a sample answer for this question. While creating this sample answer, we shall try to address all the issues and the dimensions involved in this answer. Further, at the conclusion stage, we try to adopt a balanced conclusion that is suited for this kind of question. Further, in the last part of this video, we shall try to review our sample answer based on objective Rouse evaluation parameter. So now let's begin with the session. So beginning with the first part, let us first try to understand what part of UPSC syllabus does this topic really belong to. Now the question revolves around the mandatory corporate social responsibility that has been effective in India. Now corporate social responsibility is part of governance subsection, that is corporate governance, of GS paper 2. Now corporate governance as a topic has been relatively important in the recent years and a lot of news have been revolved around the issue regarding the corporate governance. Now corporate social responsibility is one aspect of corporate governance. Another important aspect regarding it was asked in 2015, wherein the question read, in the light of Satyam scandal 2009, discuss the changes brought about in corporate governance to ensure transparency and accountability. Now Satyam scandal was one of the biggest scandals of the time that brought to the light the issue of corporate governance in India. And since then we are seeing such questions being asked in UPSC. Further, the issue of corporate governance has gained importance from the point of view of mains of 2020 because of the recent amendment to the Companies Act of 2013. Now in March of 2020, the Government of India introduced amendment to the Companies Act 2013 yet again, wherein it tried to decriminalize a number of offences and tried to incorporate ease of social responsibility, especially for the smaller company in the Companies Amendment Act. And thus this amendment has brought to light yet again the role of corporate social responsibility in India, especially after it was made mandatory. And thus this topic becomes important for the mains examination of 2020. So now for those of you who are still not comfortable or familiar with the idea of corporate social responsibility and the various dimensions associated with the topic, it is advisable for you to pause this video and first go through the Daily News Simplified of 14/8/2019, wherein this topic was covered in detail. Further, you may also refer to the Focus magazine for the month of April 2020, wherein again the amendments done to the Act was discussed in detail. Now moving on to the next aspect, wherein we begin our discussion with respect to the decoding of the question. Now in this process, we shall involve 4 parts. Now the first part is to read the question multiple times. Now to read the question multiple times is important so as to gain clarity with respect to the demand of the question. Further, we move on to identifying the key words that are used in this question. Now, this is important so as to ensure our answer is within the framework of the question asked and as per the requirements of the examiner. Now, in the third part, we try to identify the subparts to the question. Herein, we divide our question into various subparts and number them as 1, 2 and 3. And while we answer these subparts, we try to ensure we answer these parts one by one so as to ensure the question is answered in completion. Now, moving to the last aspect, that is understanding the question tags. Now, question tags are very important because this helps us understand what sort of answer is the examiner expecting out of us. Now, in the question given above, the question tag here is comment. Now, comment refers to a spoken or written statement that expresses an opinion about someone or something. So, here in this question, the examiner is expecting an opinion to be given in the answer. So, now based on our discussion, let us try to decode the given question. So, the question reads, how far has mandatory corporate social responsibility in India been effective in integrating social and environmental causes into business operations? Comment. Now, the key term in this question is first the mandatory corporate responsibility, and the second important keyword is the social and environmental causes. And the most important aspect is the comment, that is the question tag. Now, the question here wants to ask, how has the mandatory corporate responsibility, now the CSR in India, became mandatory in 2014, wherein India became the first country to legally mandate corporate social responsibility. So now, since it's been 6 years since it became mandatory in India, and given the fact that India is the only country where corporate social responsibility has been made legally mandatory, it becomes important to assess how beneficial has this move been for India, especially in terms of social and environmental causes with respect to the business operations. So now let us try to frame the introduction, body and conclusion for this question. So now in the introduction bit, we start by defining what is corporate social responsibility and what are its mandatory provision in India. Herein we'll explain that India is the only country with such a law being made legally mandatory. Further, we will talk about the 2% provision, that is, companies have to spend 2% of their net average profit for the past 3 years on CSR activities. Now, these are the basic facts about CSR that you need to mention in the introduction part. Now, moving on to the body part, wherein we try to discuss the actual question, wherein it talks about how far has mandatory corporate responsibility been effective. Now, since the question is about how far, so we'll have to take both the positive aspect and the negative aspect. So, in the first part, we try to discuss that CSR has been effective in integrating social and environmental causes in business operation, while in the second part, we try to look into the loopholes that exist with respect to making the CSR mandatory. And finally, at the conclusion stage, we try to give our opinion because the question talks about comment. Herein, we do analysis in terms of positive and negative aspects of CSR, and finally, we give our own views on the subject. Now, based on this discussion, let us try to frame a sample answer around this question. So now, beginning with the introduction of corporate social responsibility, we suggest that CSR refers to the way through which a company achieves balance of economic, environmental and social imperative, which is also known as triple bottom line approach, while at the same time addressing the expectations of shareholders and stakeholders. Now, the triple bottom line approach that has been mentioned here refers to an accounting framework used by the corporates to measure the financial, social and environmental performance of a company. Now, social means the public aspect of the company, Environmental means the planet aspect of the company, while the economic means the profit aspect of the company. Now, a company that works in the social and economic framework of a country has to keep in mind the three repercussions that its action has been causing to the country in general, in terms of environmental factors, social factors, and the economic factors. Now, these three approaches, when taken together, is known as the triple bottom line approach. Now, in today's time, the corporate social responsibility has become one of the standard practices that is being adopted by companies across the world. Now, the CSR activities aims to create an overall positive impact on the society as a whole. Now, when we talk about society, we talk about the various aspects about the society, that is the shareholders, the stakeholders, the businesses, the clients, and the employees of the company itself. Thus, in a way, the main purpose of CSR is to allow companies give back to the community in terms of philanthropic activities that create positive social value. Now, acknowledging the huge benefit that corporates can bring into a developing country such as India that lacks resources and is fighting various challenges such as poverty and illiteracy, corporates that are heavily funded can be of great help. Acknowledging this, India became the first country in 2014 to make corporate social responsibility mandatory, wherein it made companies spend 2% of their average net profit of 3 years on CSR activities, wherein it suggested various guidelines wherein these companies can spend this money for a good social cause, so as to ensure as company progresses, the society also progresses alongside. So now, since the past 6 years, since the corporate social responsibility has become mandatory in India, lot of developments has happened in this region. Now the question is asking us, how has the mandatory CSR in India been effective in integrating social and environmental causes into business operation? So now, before moving to the body part, let us try to understand what impact has mandatory CSR activities have had on environmental and the social causes. Now in our body, starting with the effectiveness of CSR in promoting social and environmental cause, let us start discussing these points. Now, the first important social benefit that CSR has brought to the country is supporting government initiatives. Now, various corporate organizations have been supporting government programs and schemes. For example, the Infosys has been working on the midday meal program of the government alongside an NGO called Akshay Patra Foundation. Now, another important social benefit that CSR activities have been bringing in is human development. Now, many companies are working in the domain of promoting health, education, and even in skill development. Now, for example, Tata Steel Maternal and Newborn Survival Initiative has been helping to enhance survivability of the newborn infants by reducing maternal mortality and reducing the infant and the neonatal mortality. And thus, in this manner, CSR has been bringing a lot of benefits to the society at large. Now, let us see how is CSR benefiting the environment. Now, CSR has led to promotion of afforestation in the country. Now, a lot of companies have been taking up extensive plantation drives. For example, Mahindra and Mahindra has been running a project called Haryali, wherein it has been planting trees across the country. Further, it has also led to promotion of biodiversity in the country, wherein many companies are working to enhance the sustainability of the habitat wherein a lot of biodiversity, flora and fauna persist in the country, such as the Western Ghats or the Himalaya region. Now, Tata Chemicals has been running a program that is called Save the Whale Shark campaign, wherein they are working towards saving these species from getting extinct. Now, another important environmental benefits that CSR has brought in is water conservation. Now, many of the companies have been running a lot of projects for saving the water and promoting water conservation through rainwater harvesting. Now, for example, Bharat Petroleum has been running its Boond project that has been undertaking rainwater harvesting in the country. Now, this is how corporates have been using their CSR funds to help the environmental cause in terms of enhancing the sustainability of the environment. Now, clearly CSR has brought a lot of benefits to the country. But the question arises, is this because the CSR was made mandatory? Because a lot of companies such as ITC or Tata had been undertaking a lot of CSR-like philanthropic activities even before the CSR was made mandatory in India. So now let us try to understand, has the mandatory aspect of CSR been counterproductive or has it really benefited? So now let's moving on to the loopholes that are existing because of the CSR being made mandatory in the country. Now, one of the important concerns raised here often is the provisioning that allows CSR funds to be transferred to government funds. Now here what happens, the companies who are not able to fulfill their CSR mandate, they try to transfer this fund to the government fund. For example, recently it was done for the PM Care Fund that was launched by the Prime Minister. Now what happens in this case is that CSR is actually defeating its own very purpose. Now provisions such as this help companies to lay off their burden by transferring the funds to the government. But this does not serve the original purpose of the CSR because the companies are not using their expertise or their excellent management skills to bring about larger benefit to the society. The government already has a lot of funds and the purpose of CSR is not to get more funds, rather to make use of the special gifts that CSRs have, that is specialization with respect to certain aspects and the excellent management skills that they possess. Now, transferring of such funds further burdens the government already burdened infrastructure and limited resources, and hence this does not help in long term. Now, moving on to the second point, CSR is seen to widen regional disparity. As the law at present allows company to spend this fund in a limited geographical domain that is often nearby their own area of geographical presence. And as a result, what happens is that most of the companies that are situated in industrial area or metropolitans are made to spend their money in that region itself. As a result, what happens? The regional disparity increases because the wealthy regions again get new funds while the deficit region such as the poor areas, Bimaru states or the northeastern states don't really receive any money where there is actual need of CSR activities. And thus this further adds on to the regional inequality. Now moving on to the third point, it is said that the funds are often misplaced and are wastefully used, as the corporate executive lack the actual equipment required to put that fund to best use. Most of the corporates are seen to struggle in the logistic aspect of the CSR activity because they don't really have the required machinery or the logistic setup to ensure all the funds are transferred to the location and are put to the best use. And thus, in this process, lot of fund is wasted. Now, the last point is non-compliance and poor enforcement due to lack of clear obligations. Now, even though the Companies Act had made CSR mandatory, still many companies are using CSR to whitewash their activities and make it appear green. And thus in turn they are only doing brand promotion or marketing using the CSR funds. And hence this is not really benefiting the country, the society or the environment. These are the few loopholes that we can assess that mandatory CSR has been causing to the country. Now moving on to the next aspect. Now moving on to the last aspect. Now since the question required us to comment, so now let us bring our own opinion after a deep analysis of both positive and negative aspect of mandatory CSR. So here we say that mandatory corporate social responsibility has been somewhat effective in integrating social and environmental causes in business. Now mind it, here we have used the exact line that has been used in the question. The only thing we have added here is somewhat. So we are not agreeing that corporate social responsibility has done an excellent job. Also we are not criticizing it. It has done a good job, but still scope remains for improvement. Moving further, we suggest what ideas do we have with respect to making CSR even better. So here we give a government committee's recommendation. So in this regard, government has set up Indrajit Srinivas committee who made recommendations such as introduction of a penal provision and a provision to deposit unspent CSR amount into an escrow account. Now these are the major recommendations by this committee, and here quoting this would give you an additional 1 or 2 marks of brownie points, and hence please try to bring in all the important committees and reports that you can in an answer. Now finally we suggest, thus it can be said that continuous reform and support to the corporate sector holds the key to unleashing the immense potential that CSR has to offer. Now we are concluding on an optimistic and a forward-looking note that CSR has a lot of potential. Let us try to reform this a bit, and then it can do wonders for the country. Now this is the general approach that we will be taking in almost all the questions. A positive outlook and an optimistic viewpoint is what is expected out of a future civil servant of the country. Towards the next aspect, that is answer review. Now we try to review our answer based on the Rao's evaluation parameter. So the first evaluation parameter talks about answer relevancy. Now this whole video was delivered to ensure our answer is relevant to the question, and thus we have discussed this in detail. Now the second parameter is answer enrichment. Now we have used a lot of points to enrich our answer so as to gain those critical brownie points that ensure one's name on that list. Now in this answer we introduce a key concept, that was the triple bottom line approach that is very closely associated with corporate governance, especially CSR. Now further we had made use of Indrajit Nivasan committee, and finally in almost all the points we had tried to introduce a lot of examples and case studies, wherein we gave examples with regard to what all projects various corporate companies have been undertaking using their CSR funds. So now moving on to the next aspect, that is how well is the answer presented. Now the first part of the presentation is structuring. So in our answer we had introduced the answer and produced a body and a conclusion. Further, with respect to presentation, we had made use of highlighting, underlining, we had made use of headings, subheadings. Further, we had also made use of pointers approach that gave our answer a very clean and an open look. That would be very inviting for any evaluator to come and assess your answer. Finally, we made use of short and crisp language in our answer, and with respect to word limit, we had tried to stick to a word limit of 250 plus and minus 10 to 15% variation, which is acceptable in any examination. So with this, we have tried to show you how we have tried to introduce all the key points that are considered important for an evaluator in our answer. So with this, we come to the end of this session. We hope this session was helpful in enhancing your answer writing skills. Hope to see you in the next session. Thank you.